Hey y'all, welcome back to Bourbon on the Brain. Today we're doing a Maker's Mark Cask Strength number 46 review. So this was a gift. I got it as a birthday gift last year from one of my close friends. And in the past, I've never been a huge fan of Maker's Mark. For me, it seems to be just one of those bourbons that's just always available. You go to any bar, it's always there. It's always, just either their well bourbon or it's what they recommend and put in all of your mixed drinks. So I've always been around it, just never loved it all that much. This was something interesting that I was gifted, and we're going to take a look at it and see what we think. So give it a little bit of a swirl. Let it sit for a minute. So according to their website, the tasting notes that they offer are on the nose. You're going to get a lot of oak up front, some vanilla, and some caramel. Well, let's see if we agree with that. Yeah, definitely big oak, for sure. A little bit of caramel, a little bit of vanilla, maybe a touch of chocolate in there also. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, it noses like a bourbon. It's not as much fire in the nostrils as you would expect from a cask strength. Now it's only 110.3 proof, so it's not lighter fluid, but it does nose powerfully. Not necessarily burning, but powerful. So they say the taste is, to quote them, robust with a warm texture with notes of caramel, vanilla, and spice. So let's just cleanse the palate a little. And let's have a sip. Now, one of the things that I notice when I'm taking a sip, in general, not just with this bourbon, is that the nose that you get when you're nosing it versus the smell that you get when you're going in for a taste are dramatically different. Well, it certainly tastes like a cask strength. Oh, wow. It plays much higher than 110.3 proof, that's for sure. It's warm. I mean, it's definitely a bourbon that you would drink if you're out by a campfire when it's cold, roasting marshmallows. Um, it's a real bourbon drinker's bourbon, that is for sure. It's powerful, it's oaky. I don't get a ton of vanilla or spice, as they say. I get a lot of oak. It tastes very traditionally bourbon. Like if I'm going to drink bourbon, this is what I would expect to drink. Um, I can still feel it in my throat. It doesn't burn per se, but it's powerful is the word that I would use to describe it. And it's got a long finish. I can still feel it right now as it's kind of warming over me. Which they do say, according to their website, long finish on the front of the tongue, harmonious, with no harsh bitterness. And honestly, it's a fairly apt description, if I could say so myself. It's not bitter. It doesn't burn, but it is a strong, long finish. So I do think that is a fairly apt description. The only thing that I might add to it is that it's powerfully oaky. And not necessarily as a bad thing or a good thing, more just factually, it is very oaky. You can really taste the barrel that it's been aged in, which for some people is a real positive. For some people, it's a real negative. But I think the one thing that I'd say if you fall into the negative side of things is that maybe bourbon isn't necessarily the right spirit for you, because a traditional bourbon, not barrel, that would be Sky in the background. A traditional non-barrel aged bourbon is going to be powerfully oaky because that's the traditional flavor profile, and especially with a cask strength. So I enjoy this more than I thought I would, as evident by the fact that it's half empty. Um, I do recommend this. The price point I'm a little bit iffy on. it is a $60 bourbon, depending on where you go, $10 on either side. I'm not sure I would pay $60 for it. I definitely wouldn't pay 70. Having it as a gift, it definitely will be finished. Um, I would probably be willing to pay 40 to 50 for it to try it. Um, for somebody like me who likes to collect bourbon but doesn't necessarily um, collect them for the unopened bottles, I like to drink the bourbon that I have and collect the empty bottles, which is, I know, fairly sacrilegious in the liquor collecting community. But I do like to collect my finished bottles because every bottle has a story behind it. This is a bottle that will have a story behind it. And for that alone, it's worth the money, even though I didn't pay for it. So give it a try, check it out. If you see it in your local market, definitely pick it up, give it a taste. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Was I completely wrong on my review? Was it completely right? Anything in between? Love to hear your opinions. So let me know. As always, enjoy, and please remember, drink safely.